Great Britons, not the idiots.
Can I nominate Shakespeare, please?
Shakespeare. Newton. Isn't Bad Kingdom Brunel?
Mr. Winston Churchill.
Mr. Winston Churchill.
Mr. Charles Dickens.
You know what I mean?
Queen Elizabeth I.
Look, the kings and queens that used to go into battle.
They're all old though. Everyone you've been talking
Were
about.
they all
old.
dead?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why aren't you
You
saying?
want recent ones?
Oh, yeah.
David Beckham.
Not the same though, is it?
No, it's not the same. I think Steve was being a little bit flippant there.
One thing I do like is when the likes of David Beckham and the gang are playing, the England football team are perhaps in Europe or the World Cup, that's when you see the St George's flag up, and there's no jingoism involved there. It's good old, you know, the Sun reprints it in the middle pages, you can tear that out and put it in your window, which is the St George's flag, slightly ruined by the small logo that says The Sun on it. It's great, that. It's lovely. People get right behind England, don't they, then?
Yeah, but they're the nutters, aren't they? That's
They're
what
not,
I'm saying
the
to
whole
you. They
nation
are.
does.
They are. They're the ones who leave it in the window. That's the only reason they've got a flag in the window is they're the curtains in their house. And they stay up. They never close that window. No matter what the weather's like, you see it blowing outside the window. They're not worried about the heating because they never pay the bills. That's how I think about it. Nutters.
It is frightening when you go through an estate and it's like 30 satellite dishes and 12 flags and a couple of pit bulls tied up the fence, and you think, keep driving, do not break down here, do not break down here, have you put enough petrol in this car?
But, you know, I don't know who...
Well, who would you nominate as one of the great Englishmen, or Englishwomen, of the current age?
Do you know what? It'd be someone who you don't even know.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the
okay,
thing.
nominate them then.
No, I don't know him. But what I'm saying is, it would be someone like a surgeon or
Brett Welch with
a
the Gulfstone?
doctor. Just anyone who's, you know, busy saving lives, never gets a look in, never hear about him. You know, they're the people who are doing the good stuff.
Yeah.
Not your... I mean, Darwin, you know.
I think it's out of him and Churchill for my favourite Englishman.
But why? Why? What's he done, really? Churchill's fine. You know, if it weren't for him, I'd be speaking German. I've said it before. But Darwin, I'd still be here. I'd still be here. It doesn't change anything. If nobody had said that before, and they said it today, you'd probably go, look at him, what an idiot Darwin is. He's saying that we came from apes.
No, I wouldn't, because I'd look at the evidence.
No, you wouldn't. Everybody slagged him off back then. He said at one point that he wishes he'd kept his mouth shut. He said, oh, I wish I hadn't said it. He said, there's certain things you think and you shouldn't say it out loud because people have a go at you.
I mean, that's a feeling you must have daily.
I've done that. I've put stuff in my books and I've gone, oh, that's it now, that's there forever.
Like what?
The theory about the brain, about how it came about.
Well, what was that theory?
I did, just had a thought, just like Darwin did. He sort of, you know, looked at the evidence and thought, how can this have happened?
Right.
He went the animal route. I went the route of, it could have been, you know, the brain could have been from another planet.
Okay, absolute
That one.
bollocks then, so you didn't
The
look at
brain
the
could have
evidence.
been from another planet.
There you
Yeah.
go, you're jumping in, you're jumping
What, so
in.
an alien gave it to us?
Well, the brain is the alien. So
What difference does that make? How is that a theory? So what did we, how did we evolve before the alien came down? We were just walking around bumping into shit while we going, I need a brain! I wish I had a
it would have
brain!
been like that. We would have been like a chimp. The chimps were still
Well,
involved
they've
in
got
it.
brains.
They're not as brainy as us, are they? There's a planet with a load of brains on it.
Oh,
Just brains.
They're floating around.
so no gravity.
There's no gravity.
Why don't they just float off completely then? Why are they on a planet?
Because it's like one of them balloons, a helium balloon. They only go so high. And then
Right.
it stops. There's a limit. So they're all floating about
This
like
seems
that.
like unnecessary information. The key thing is there's
Oh.
brains floating around.
But how are they surviving on this planet, Carl? I'm just testing your theory.
Right, what are you worried about? What do you mean surviving? What do
Well-
they need? It's a brain.
What do you mean? The brain needs all the things that all life needs. Oxygen. It's got an atmosphere. It's dead straight away. I don't know where it came from. So that's it. It needs water. It needs
Okay,
needs
it's not
nutrients.
everything's
it
like
needs
that.
energy.
Not everything's like that.
Well,
And
it is.
that's-
The brain is like that.
So anyway, this
So that's full
is the
sound already.
theory. Pretend I'm giving. I'm at a.
What? I mean, it's like talking to fucking Clunk.
His brain's floating off again.
You'd be better off with a helium balloon. In
I'm
your
at a
head.
university.
Right.
Let him do his lecture and then you can ask questions at the end.
Okay.
Right. Welcome everyone. I'm here to talk about how the brain came about. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Okay.
Professor Pilkington.
Right. This is what I propose. I'm not going to go on long-winded about it. I want to jump to the meat of it.
Right.
Darwin said the brain evolved. That's fine. Let him have his say. Right? We all know his story. Let's not harp on about what he said.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, they could have been, and they may still be, a planet with just brains on it.
Right. Yes.
Right, now that's good that you're laughing, because I'd say, right, I've got them now, they're on my side, they're all listening to me, they're sick of scientists coming in with all big long words and stuff. Right, so there's a planet with the brains on. Now, they did alright for a while, they were up there, all they were doing all day is thinking. They had nothing else to do.
Sure.
Right. They did a lot of thinking.
Floating around, bumping into each other.
But there's only so far you can go with thinking.
Yep.
So then,
Amazing quote.
they thought about how to get to this planet, they worked it
What
out,
planet?
a few of them, Earth.
Can I just ask one question?
It lands.
How
no,
could
not
they
yet.
see? How could they
They're
see?
not that, don't worry about that yet.
No eyes.
Things happen. Well, there's moths without eyes.
Yeah,
They get on fine.
but they don't think of other planets.
So the brain comes to planet Earth. When it gets there,
Yeah.
thud, lands on the floor.
Right. Because of gravity.
Yeah. The brain ended up getting on the floor
Yeah.
into the monkey's head. And from there,
Get it
that's
on.
when it's evolved. But we
Okay.
don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know.
Well, yeah, but I've got to ask you questions, right? I can start one. Where did the brain? How did the brain come about on this planet? How did that evolve? Where did that come from?
Why is it that you accept that it could evolve on another planet, but not on this planet? Why is it? Why are you happy
That's
that it
my
evolved
point.
on another planet, but then it had to make its way
Well, maybe somehow.
through space?
But what I'm saying is the brainier ones might be from another planet.
Why?
Because there's no, it doesn't make sense. Your Darwins, Churchills maybe,
Right.
or your
They've got
Shakespeare's.
alien brains.
They could have. They could have. The brighter
Yeah,
people who you just go, I don't know, I ever thought of that.
Like
The people who have said things about, you know, we're talking about DNA. There's no way that human brain would have ever come up with that.
It did.
No, but it just makes you wonder how they did. Stephen Hawking, you see, that's almost like it's not his body. It's like this brain's come from somewhere, this, you know, magnificent brain,
Right.
and it's just overpowered the rest of the body to the point that there's no energy for that rest of the body to do anything. And it just sits there with the brain throbbing, thinking of stuff. Not even worrying about this planet anymore, going on about the universe. Whoa, Stephen, come back. I'm not Stephen. I'm just the brain. And that's how I look at him. I can't imagine, and I'm not disrespecting the man, but I can't see a human being that intelligent.
And can I just remind you that Darwin's Theory of Evolution is available in the same bookshops as Carl Pilkington's book, which expands on this theory. That is democracy at work.
When brain come from planet Earth thud, creeping monkey. So please download the Ricky Gervais Guide to the English at iTunes, and of course our back catalogue. Yeah, and a big thank you to Positive Internet. Those guys make these little free podcasts possible.
Good guys.
So thanks, that's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Goodbye.
and the little round-headed, shaven, alien-brained chimp that is Carl Pilkington.
Right.
To be born English is to win first prize in the lottery of life. So said Cecil Rhodes, one of the grandfathers of British imperialism. At its height, the British Empire ruled over 1/4 of the world's population and consequently exported Englishness to the furthest reaches of the globe. But what is Englishness? Is it stiff upper lips and fair play, village greens and tea and crumpets? And who are the English? Are we defined by a shared heritage, a common set of beliefs, by the language of Shakespeare? Or in a multicultural modern age, when more languages are spoken in England than in any other country in Europe? Do we need to develop a new view of what it means to be English? To discuss and define the nature and characteristics of the English, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, graduate of the University of Warwick, an award-winning writer.
Thank you for having me.
And Carl Pilkington, a man who, by his own admission, didn't go to school, has no qualifications.
Mention the head, talk about
I'm
the
mentioning it, I'm just trying to get to the point that he's not qualified in anything, or really has no authority in any subject, or hasn't got the right to it.
Talk about the head.
And who's known the world over as a man who has a head like a fucking orange.
Right.
I think one thing that's very English is harping back and whinging combined. People saying, oh, England used to be better in my day, oh, England was better when I was a kid, England was better in the 50s or whatever. Carl, do you think England's better now? Are you happier now than you were when you were a kid?
Do you feel that life was better in, say, the 1950s?
I don't know, I wasn't around. So
But you understand what it was like in those days. You've seen happy days.
I don't know, people always say, don't they? Old people always say, oh, you know, it's a better life in the 50s. Being old isn't great, is it? So you're just happy with your lot. I suppose I was happiest in about 1984.
Quite a specific year.
Why? Why was that?
Just I was free and happy.
How old were you?
I don't know. 22.
He's just counting on his fingers now.
12.
Right, okay.
And it was just good.
So the happiest days of your life were between the age of 12 and 13?
Yeah, it was good. I had the world ahead of me.
Little did you know your hair was going to fall out and you were going to whinge every minute of the day.
I had my bike. I like messing about on my bike. You had your mates. I had a pet magpie.
So you were probably the teenager that you eventually hate?
Probably.
Were you a good lad, law-abiding?
I wasn't bad. I just sort of, you know, just potted about. I mean, when people talk about what was on the telly back then, I don't have that much memory of it because I was always out. I was always playing out.
What were you doing when you were out?
Just playing about, just like on a bike or...
Just riding in a circle endlessly
Tell
through
ya,
blizzards,
I loved it.
rain, sleet,
Loved it.
hail.
I never seemed to be in. I was always... When everyone always goes, where were you when Band-Aid was happening? I was always out on my bike. And everything was
Like you and McGregor?
A memory's always sort of like coming in for some orange and looking at the telly and seeing Princess Diana's getting married, and my mum says, have you seen this? And I'm going, oh, I'm going out on my bike. I was always doing that. The only time I was in the house...
This is why you don't know anything, because you never stopped.
Yeah, but this is what being a kid's about.
All
That's
the
what I mean, being
information you
free.
have, Carl, is as though you've gleaned it as you raced by on a bike. It's almost like, you know, every piece of information you have.
Your hair blowing in the wind. Carl, your hair will blow out one day. Oh, don't talk stupid, ma'am.
So yeah, 12 to 13 was good.
But you see...
And it was all downhill from then, was it?
13 is your teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah. How did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, you know, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the supermarket, got a cake, and I just thought, I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
On his 13th birthday!
Well, you were buying a cake. What did you see at the supermarket?
Just, it was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk. So I always had a bit of a worry look on my face. Didn't say much, just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around, looking stressed.
My eyes moved about more than I did. Oh dear, I couldn't walk. Well, I can't walk, but I'll try and get a bit of movement in my face. It's a workout, a baby workout. Oh, babies, well, if you can't walk, what about your face? Let your face do the walking.
It sounds like that horror film. It sounds like Pilkington's Baby.
Yeah.
Just you lying there in your cot.
I didn't like all the stuff that's set up for you. Like, my mum tried to send me to, like, a nursery. I said, no, I'm not having this.
Just like that.
I said when I'm older and I've got to go, I'll go, but let's leave out this bit. And she said, alright.
I love the fact he could reason with her. I love him, he's 3 years old with a pipe. She's going, you go to the nurse, she goes, I think not, mum.
I mean, kids don't play out, do they? Kids, you know, parents are scared to let the kids play out, and that's why the streets are dangerous now. Because no one's playing out on the streets. Whereas when I was a kid, everyone was out on the streets were safer. Because there was more people knocking about.
Right.
Let the kids play out.
It must be like a constant, like a Larry painting, his front garden, do you know what I mean? Just loads of people just
There was
walking
never any
around.
problems. I was sort of taken away by some fella.
What?
No, I was playing about in the garden.
Yeah,
But my dad's mate, Tony,
yeah.
he did tiling with him. He drove past. And he saw me looking a bit fed up, so he just leant over, picked me up, took me to the pub. Now the thing is, there wasn't panic. People weren't going, oh God, where's Carl gone?
He's out.
Just
How old were you?
He's down the pub.
Yeah,
He's 4 years old, yeah. Well, he's only having a...
He's down the pub with Tony, probably playing darts.
Yeah, I was about 3 or 4.
Sorry, so some bloke drives by who happens to be a friend of your dad's, thinks that baby looks grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm taking him down to the pub.
That's what it was
Tony,
like.
you bringing the baby to the pub? Yeah, I might do. Yeah, we're bringing ours. All right, see you later, mate.
But that's what I'm saying. Whereas now they go, the baby's gone. There's a big full-on panic going
Yeah,
on.
but I think it says more about your parents that they didn't do that. They looked over the back car and you were gone. Some bloke's driving off in a van. They're just going, oh, doesn't Princess Diana look lovely? This is absurd. So what happened when you got down the pub?
I just was there for a bit, and then
For a bit, just had a game of pool.
then my dad came in. It was like, oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are! I love that! Where's my baby? I'm just going to have a quick pint now. There you are. All right, mate.
So, yeah, I think things were better back then.
Rick, as you hinted at in your introduction, the idea of Englishness and England, it's quite a vague term, isn't it? You can play loose and fast with it. I mean, for instance, I was looking at some quotes about England, and John Major, former Prime Minister, he typified England as being a place of long shadows on county cricket grounds, warm beer, invincible green suburbs, dog lovers, and old maids bicycling through the morning mist. Very specific vision of England.
But he never came to the estate that I was born on,
Sure.
or Carl was. You know what I mean? I think I know of that. If we go for a walk around Richmond, we see people playing cricket on the village green, and it's lovely. But I don't know if it's typical. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where most people live. But in a way, that's 50-50, isn't it, in cities and in the country? But that's wealthy country.
But that's, interestingly, that's the vision of England that people like to subscribe to. When you buy your nan a box of biscuits for Christmas from Harrods, that's the image of England that's on the front.
Why am I spending money at Harrods on my nan? Why can't I just? She's happy with sort of like broken custard creams.
You've earned a bit of money now.
Well, I
What's
know,
wrong
but
with that?
they don't need to know that. I mean, also, both my grandmothers are dead, so it'd be.
Sorry to have brought that up.
Well, no, but I mean, who buys who spends good money at Harrods on biscuits where she just suck 'em and eat the Garibaldis and leave? I mean, I don't know why I'm wasting money on the elderly.
I worry that you've taken that too literally. I was trying to get to making more of a point, like an analogy, but I don't shop at Harrods.
Right.
Please, I don't. I mean, I might, get some Easter eggs.
Well,
2 days.
we were in Fortnum and Masons after Christmas, and all the crackers were half price.
Good idea.
And there was a box of crackers for 500 quid, down to 250 quid. And I thought, right, that's got to be the best prizes anyone's ever seen. I'm going to get Cartier watches in these things. So we bought 250 quid. I thought, oh, it's a bargain. It's half price. Got them home, pulled a couple, and there was a little notebook, right, that said wine notes. That's one.
What?
Wine notes. So you drink a bottle of wine and,
And you make a note.
Make a note of it, right? There was another one that had something that it was like opera notes or something, and then there was one for travel notes, like what country you been. I'm thinking, what world are these crackers for? Who's putting a cracker and going, I needed it. I filled up my wine notes book. It's like
500 quid?
yeah. I mean,
For some little notebooks?
yeah, I mean, if you'd have paid 500 quid, I mean, I don't know who buys those. I assume they're for presents.
And
But I
it's
mean-
probably the absurd, cliched Toffington Englishman who has no sense anymore of of any sense of worth of anything, and it's just a crazy, snotty-nosed inbreeding.
There was a silver-plated like mussel, like the clam, the mussel, right? When you eat mussels, you scoop them out with an open mussel.
Sure.
There's a silver-plated one.
Who carries that with them?
You get that out. You go, all mussels. Good. I brought it with me. My silver-plated mussel to eat mussels.
I'm right, this wine's delicious, let me make a note. That's absurd. Again, it's interesting you said that, because those are little images of what we would like England to be, aren't they? They're pandering to that image of what we'd all like to be, that sort of upper-class English person who's worried about fine wine and good food. And again, I mean, does this England still exist? I'm presuming there's a small minority that does.
Well, there are some people that are in that world that are posher than the royal family.
Yeah.
I can understand what the Queen and Prince Charles are saying, but there are some people. What? And I don't know what they're talking about either.
Well, I was never really aware of class and the English class system until I went to university.
Absolutely.
I became aware of it then.
Absolutely right. When I got to university and everyone sort of spoke like royalty, that's when I discovered I was probably working class.
But when I hear those people who do actually speak in that kind of, oh, Jeff, You know, that sort of absurd rugger. Oh, you absolute bloody bastard.
You know
They-
what though?
it's-
I don't mind the mega posh people. I don't mind that. Ah, bloody hell, yeah, of course, take one, take it. I don't mind one of those. What I don't like is the ones that stand around in all bar one with a rugby shirt with a collar up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those who are going to work in the city,
Yeah.
and they're loud and think they're gentry.
Yeah.